Right now at noon, we are 12 hours away from the new year. The push from police for people to drink responsibly and ways to stay safe if going out. Plus, the bird flu continues to spread across the nation, while other viruses are still raising concerns among healthcare workers. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. Right now, Juneau County authorities are searching for a person of interest in a triple homicide. 3 people were found dead Monday at a home in New Lisbon. Police identify the person of interest as 47-year-old Virgil Thu. Police say he's around 150 pounds and about 5'10". He was last seen wearing a dark-colored down coat and hat. He is considered armed and dangerous. Police say if you see him, do not approach. Our team has been on the ground covering this in Juneau County. Our Maddie Heimsch is live on the scene in New Lisbon this afternoon. She has been speaking with the agencies involved. Maddie, what are you learning?
Josh, like you said, 1 adult and 2 juveniles found dead in this home behind me on West Bridge Street here in New Lisbon. Now, I want to take you back a little bit to how this all began. 1 juvenile was declared missing on Monday night around 10 p.m. That's when authorities began to search. That juvenile, it was known that they were last seen with Virgil Thu, who police have now declared as a person of interest in this case. Now, on their search on Tuesday, they discovered that a 2nd juvenile was also missing. That search led them to, again, this house behind me. Now, like you said, Virgil Thu, 47 years old, is the person of interest, and authorities are warning people that if they do see him, to not contact or approach him, but instead to immediately call 911. Now, about an hour ago, I spoke to the Juneau County Sheriff's Office on the phone. They said they did not have a press conference or briefing on the schedule. They don't know if they will have one. And as far as more press releases, more information, they could not tell me when they would be releasing anything else. So we're going to stay on the scene here and continue to follow this case. For now, I'm going to send it back to you, Josh.
Maddie Heimsch live in New Lisbon. Maddie, thank you. This afternoon, the Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigation is looking into a case where a man suspected in a vehicle theft was found unresponsive in Madison police custody. Officers responded to the reported theft around 8:30 last night at the Best Western on Anamark Drive. After chasing the man on foot, he was taken into custody, evaluated by EMS, and brought to the Dane County Jail. Well, after arriving there, the man was found unresponsive. No weapons were fired, and the involved officers are now on administrative leave. 1 person is dead after an apartment complex fire in McFarland. Crews responded to the fire Sunday morning on Paulson Court at a 4-unit building. When they arrived, they found smoke and fire. First responders found the body after they put the fire out. Investigators are now looking into how the fire started. Right now, the solar system is ringing in the new year with a spectacular light show. The northern lights could be visible as far south as Oregon and Illinois on New Year's Eve. The NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center has issued a geomagnetic storm warning fueled by a period of solar maximum activity. To catch the lights, head to the dark areas with clear skies, and don't forget your phone camera might capture more of the lights than your eyes can see. Well, the big question for us here in southern Wisconsin, will the skies clear out? We've had some snow showers out there today. First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano has a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. It's not going to clear out tonight, unfortunately, but we could see some clear skies for Wednesday night. However, I wouldn't expect to see completely clear skies until a little bit later in the week. Now, taking a look outside, we did see some snowfall earlier. Right now in Madison, at least, looks like we are dry at this point, but we could continue to see some flurries as we head closer to midnight. Right now, the heaviest snow, although the snow isn't very heavy at all, is to the southeast of Dane County. Right now impacting portions of Rock County, but mainly in Walworth County at this point. But again, even the snow here is just at moderate levels, nothing too heavy. But we could continue to see some of these light to moderate snow showers throughout the rest of the day into the evening. Notice a little bit of blue kind of just scattering across the area. This will continue around midnight as well. So for those of you that have, obviously, I assume a lot of you probably have plans to stay up. When you're traveling home, just be aware it might be a little slippery out there as we'll continue to see some flurries. And that's going to be the case for Wednesday morning as well. But then we are expecting the flurries to slowly clear out of the area by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon. Now, starting the new year, it is going to be a lot colder, especially by the time we get to the weekend and next week. I'll talk more about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, we want to take a live look at Times Square in New York City this afternoon, where the ball will drop in under 11 hours now at midnight Eastern time, of course. City planners are expecting as many as 1 million folks will pack Times Square to celebrate the new year tonight. Well, it can get confusing on what is open and closed today and tomorrow. New Year's Eve, not considered a federal holiday, but tomorrow, New Year's Day, is a federal holiday, meaning that most government offices are closed. However, a good rule of thumb on any holiday is to check the website, social media, or call any place or business you want to visit before leaving the house. Well, this year there have been 16 deadly crashes in Dane County. While road safety is important every day, the Madison Police Department says there's usually an uptick for people driving under the influence on New Year's Eve. They want to make sure that doesn't happen tonight, so there will be extra officers on patrol. It's a good idea to make a plan before going out to celebrate.
The biggest thing to remember is there's so many different taxi services within Madison. You know, there's Uber, there's Lyft, and there's other local services that people can be reaching out to for rides.
If your plans fall through, you can also call AAA at their toll-free number to get a free ride home and a tow for your vehicle. On the Health Watch, there's no evidence of bird flu passing from person to person, but experts warn mutations of the virus could make it more likely to spread between humans. A recently hospitalized patient in Louisiana with the country's worst case of the virus shows it likely mutated in the person. The CDC emphasizes the risk to the public remains low, but some experts say not enough is being done.
I flash back to January of 2020,
Right.
and I'm hearing the same words come out of the CDC.
Like what?
Low risk of human-to-human transmission.
Now,
Our
this should
agencies
not the
are
moment.
making the same mistakes they made with COVID.
The CDC is pushing back against claims the U.S. isn't testing for bird flu enough. They say, quote, comments about avian flu testing are out of date, misleading, and inaccurate, end quote. While bird flu is getting a lot of attention, other illnesses are also surging in the U.S., including the usual suspects of COVID and flu. Health experts predict respiratory virus hospitalizations could be as high as last year, despite a slow start to this cold and flu season. The CDC reports a 12% jump in positive flu tests in the week, ending December 21st.
If you start developing any respiratory symptoms, you need to get tested. The good news is we have testing for COVID and for RSV and for influenza.
Norovirus is another issue, with the CDC reporting an unusual spike in outbreaks this month. Health officials say the number of RSV cases is high and is increasing in most areas of the country. Well, still ahead for us on this New Year's Eve, the most Americans plan to celebrate the new year, plus why some workers across more than 20 states will get a pay raise in 2025.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
York officials are preparing for up to 1 million people to pack Times Square for tonight's New Year's Eve ball drop. But a survey from the Associated Press and the National Opinion Research Center found that a majority of Americans intend to ring in 2025 quietly. Of the 3/4 of adults who said they plan to mark the new year, 72% said they'll celebrate at home. 21% said they'll head to the home of a friend or a relative. Around 5% said they plan to go to a bar, restaurant, or event. Millions of workers across 21 states will get a pay raise for the new year due to minimum wage salary increases. Experts at the nonprofit Economic Policy Institute say almost a third of working Americans live in a state where the minimum wage is $15 or more. Still, the federal minimum wage hasn't budged from $7.25 in around 15 years. And this week, Krispy Kreme is offering some sweet deals to help usher in the new year. Fans can get 2 dozen donuts for $20.25 with free delivery through New Year's Day. And for the weekend, Krispy Kreme is selling a dozen donuts for $12. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
And here's your stock report for the final day of 2024. The Dow is down 6 points, NASDAQ down 83, and the S&P 500 down 12. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Remember, you can call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. A programming note, there will be no Live at 4 this afternoon due to the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game between Louisville and Washington. But first, as we head to break on this Tuesday afternoon, a live look outside, your First Warn forecast heading into the new year is next. Pia Bianchi is out of the radio barn on her holiday break, so here are your farm numbers. Right now, a major contract deadline is looming for East and Gulf Coast port workers, which could threaten U.S. red meat exports. If no agreement is reached by January 15th, U.S. Meat Export Federation warns a work stoppage could cost over $100 million per week in beef and pork exports. Contract talks between the International Longshoremen's Association and the U.S. Maritime Alliance stalled in November. Exporters are already diverting shipments, and some ports may stop accepting refrigerated cargo. A prolonged strike could damage U.S. meat's reputation as a reliable supply source, pushing buyers towards competitors like South America and Australia. Well, time now for your certified most accurate forecast. First, our meteorologist Jacob Montesano is here. Hi, Jacob.
Hey Josh, taking a look at the 3 things you need to know, we're going to continue to see some flurries through tomorrow morning. And then once the new year starts, we are going to see temperatures below normal, and they're going to continue to fall for the weekend and next week. We also could see some snow for Sunday, but it does look increasingly likely that a lot of it may miss us entirely to the south. But that will be our next chance of snow after the snow we're seeing right now that will last through tomorrow morning. Now, again, right now the heaviest snow, although not all that heavy, is to the southeast of Madison, again, right around Walworth County, but you folks in Janesville still seeing some flurries right now. Although it's dry for Madison and a good chunk of our area, we are going to continue to see some flurry activity kind of re-enter our area a little bit later today in the evening. This will occur around the midnight hour tonight, so definitely could see some flurries as you guys head home from your New Year's Eve celebrations, and possibly even into Wednesday morning we're going to be seeing some of those flurries as well. However, it is going to be very light. We're certainly not going to see any accumulation, but it could create some slick spots at times. So let's recap what's for the rest of the day. All snow going forward pretty much. Temperatures at this point are cool enough to where we're not going to see any mixture of freezing rain or actual rainfall. Temperatures are going to continue to fall throughout the evening. We'll be in the middle 20s by the time we get to midnight. And then by Wednesday morning, we're going to see temperatures possibly in the lower 20s for a few locations. And then the highs for Wednesday, they're not going to rise all that much. We're going to have high temperatures in the middle 20s. And the temperatures, they're only going to continue to fall after that. As we look at the high temperature trend, notice that we are going to be possibly in the teens by the time we get to the middle of next week. And even beyond the 10-day forecast, we are going to see very, very cold temperatures. This is the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, showing well below average temperatures for the central and eastern United States. So there really is no end in sight to the cold pattern that is going to set in. So could see some snow fall into Wednesday morning, but by the afternoon will be dry. And then we're looking dry for the rest of the week with maybe some snow on Sunday. But again, it looks like the heaviest will stay to the south of us. We'll continue to update the forecast accordingly. But notice next week, high temperatures in the teens, lows in the single digits, likely going to see wind chills well below zero as well, as it could be a little bit windy, but the winds don't look to be dramatic, but still it just takes a little bit of wind to create very low wind chills when the temperatures are that cold. So for today, again, just take it easy. It's still going to be a little bit slippery out there despite the precipitation not being that heavy, and that could continue into Wednesday morning, but then we'll be dry as those temperatures cool down. So Josh, I do find it very funny that the moment 2025 hits, those temperatures are going to be below normal, and they're going to continue to be below normal going forward, kind of countering how 2024 has been as a whole.
I was going to say, hello January, a little different than last year.
Yeah, I mean, we did have like a few cold days last year, but every single month for Madison was above normal. It would be very funny if 2025 has the first month of the year below normal, but too early to say that for sure.
We'll find out. Thank you, Jacob. Let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
No matter what you've got going on tonight, whether it's staying home for a quiet evening or you're planning on hosting or attending some sort of big bash, we have an idea to make sure that everyone wakes up to a rise and shine breakfast that's New Year's worthy. We start by combining some eggs and sour cream with a bit of onion powder and some salt and pepper. Now we whisk this together, and once it's smooth, we add all sorts of stuff. Some shredded hash browns, diced ham, broccoli florets, and a good amount of shredded cheddar cheese. We give it a good stir and pour this into a baking dish, and into the oven it goes. And since we use a bunch of freezer and refrigerated aisle shortcuts, it couldn't be easier. When this comes out of the oven and you serve this along with your breakfast favorites, everyone's gonna be smiling ear to ear. To get the recipe for what we call our Rise and Shine Breakfast Bake, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a better breakfast way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Have a happy and safe New Year.
Jacob's back with a final check of the forecast and a little bit of a messy end to 2024.
Yeah, we'll have that wintry mix. We're kind of seeing that right now, but the big story after today will be a complete change in the temperature forecast. Notice that normal level, it's all the way up at the top. Pretty much every day starting 2025 for the first 2 weeks approximately will be below normal. We could have high temperatures only in the teens by the weekend and next week. As far as precipitation, after this system clears out Wednesday afternoon, we have a chance of snow Sunday, but it looks like most of it will stay south, so we're not going to see too much in the form of moisture, but obviously it will feel like winter with those temperatures.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, as we bid farewell to 2024, we want you to meet the staff that brings you the best news coverage all year long. Here are the faces of News 3 Now wishing you a happy new year.